Hey everyone. So if you've ever been on a sailboat right at the start of a race, you know that feeling. The gun goes, boats are scrambling everywhere, and there's this one huge question hanging in the air. We're going to demystify the single most important part of the race, that first beat to windward, and give you a solid plan to nail it. It's this question, isn't it? Which way do you go? Do you peel off to the left, head out to the right, or just try to stick it out in the middle? Honestly, it can feel like a complete roll of the dice. But I'm telling you, it's not. The pros don't guess. They have a system. And that's exactly what we're going to break down. This isn't about luck or some kind of sixth sense. It's about a simple, repeatable, three-step framework that turns all that starting line chaos into a really clear tactical plan. The key here is that you absolutely can learn to solve this puzzle every single time. So let's jump right into step one. This is the most fundamental piece of the puzzle. Before you think about anything else, and I mean anything, you have to find the fuel for your boat. You've got to find the wind, or as we all call it, the pressure. It's really the most basic equation in all of sailing, right? More wind pressure equals more speed. It's that simple. Your number one job is to sail your boat where the wind is strongest, because the wind is almost never a flat, even sheet across the entire course. You want to spend as much time as possible where the real pressure is. So this is the question you need to be asking yourself constantly, long before the race even starts. You have to get out in the course early, sail around, look for those dark patches on the water. You're essentially building a mental map of where the wind lives before the 5-minute gun ever goes off. And here's a super powerful way to simplify that mental map. Don't try to track every little puff and lull. Instead, just mentally break the course into a grid, just like this, into thirds, side to side and top to bottom. Is the best pressure generally on the left side, or is it maybe concentrated at the top of the course near the mark? This simple grid gives you a basic, actionable game plan. Okay, so you found the pressure. You know where the fuel is. But that's only part one. Wind doesn't just have strength, it has direction. And that direction, well, it's almost always changing. So step two is all about figuring out how it's changing. When it comes down to it, there are really only two patterns you're ever going to see. You've got an oscillating shift, which is like a pendulum. It swings back and forth around some average. And then you have a persistent shift. That's a one-way street. The wind is gradually moving to a new direction, and it is not coming back. Your entire strategy for the race hinges on figuring out which one of these is happening today. And here's the so what, the tactical move you make. If that wind is oscillating, swinging back and forth, you want to stay near the middle of the course. Why? So you can tack on each shift and play the swings both ways. But if it's a persistent shift, you commit. You go hard towards that new wind. If you see the wind is slowly and surely clocking to the left, you get over to the left. All right, step three. This is where it all comes together. You've got a plan, you know where the pressure is, and you have a read on what the wind direction is doing. But how much do you bet on that plan? This is all about managing your confidence. I absolutely love this quote from the material. This is a top sailor admitting they are never completely certain. The wind can always do something you don't expect. And what that means is you never ever bet the entire race by banging one corner. So how do you manage that uncertainty in a practical way? Try visualizing these risk lines on the course. If you are, say, only about 25% sure that the left side is favored, then maybe you only sail about 25% of the way out to that side before you tack back towards the fleet. You just don't sail to the edge of the course unless your confidence is sky high. In fact, this isn't just a vague feeling. The expert we're drawing from says that even when he's almost certain there's a huge persistent shift, like when a sea breeze is building, he'll still only go about 85% of the way to the corner. He always leaves himself a little bit of an out, because going 100% into a corner is a great way to lose a race. Okay, let's look at a classic pro-level mistake that really brings all three of these steps together. It's a trap, because it preys on our desire for certainty. We're talking about one of the most common and costly errors on that first beat, falling for the layline trap. So first, a quick definition. What is a layline? It's just that imaginary line that if you're sailing on it, you can point your boat straight at the mark and you'll make it without having to tack again. It feels so safe and efficient to get there early, right? Well, it's usually wrong. You can just picture how this trap springs, step by step. First, you commit. You sail all the way out to that lay line, way early in the leg, thinking, I've got this made. Then, number two, The inevitable happens. The wind shifts even a little bit. And now, step 3, you lose. If the wind lifts you, you're overstanding. You're now sailing extra distance for no reason. If it knocks you, you can't even make the mark anymore, and you have to do 2 slow, costly tacks. You have 0 good options left. The bottom line is this, and it's huge. Unless the wind is just unbelievably, perfectly steady, which it almost never is, hitting a layline early is a terrible bet. You gain almost nothing if you happen to be right, and you lose a ton if you're wrong. You've basically traded away all of your flexibility for a false sense of security. So let's bring this all home. Winning that first beat isn't about having a crystal ball or getting lucky. It's about having a clear, simple plan and then having the discipline to stick to it. And here it is. This is your mental checklist before every single race. 1. Where's the fuel? Find the pressure. 2. What's the wind doing? Read the direction. Is it oscillating or persistent? And 3. How sure am I? Manage your risk and never, ever bet the farm. And this last slide really gets to the heart of it. It's about changing your mindset. Don't just show up to the starting line and react. By using this framework, you can go into every race with a clear, proactive strategy for those critical first few minutes. So what's your plan going to be?